for stuff that it didn't belong to, or we got the wrong documents. But I'd also like to see the document where you returned the money, which was told to me.
That was done when Mitch was in here, and for my time, if he don't use it, it automatically goes.
Well, see, it showed to be extended.
It goes back, though, if it ain't done in a year's time, it goes back.
Well, it was extended in 2012. So that, a year from then would have
Whenever
been,
Mitch was in there, I took off in 2013.
well, I still want to see the document
I
where it
can
went
use it.
back. You know, I've asked that before, I just want to see it, that's all.
You got the document over where we turned that.
And,
No,
You can call over Caddo, I'll call Caddo, we'll get it for you and show you where it's been
That's
turned
fine.
back. He got
And
it
then-
ready to do, and after he got beat, he didn't do it.
what about this 26,000 that was given, showing that you put the 1 mile down there?
Where on Perry Road, by the church, I got the grant to do that. I've done that myself since I've been over.
Well, that's the document I asked for, and this is not it.
But I didn't get no grant to do that, I paid for that.
Well, that's what I asked for.
What I paid for it, it's over there.
Well,
It's over in her.
and that's what we needed, that was the request.
So you don't want the one that's not,
Well, I don't need anything from Township 9 over here, I need for that 1 mile portion that we done.
It's over there.
Okay. Well, that's what I need.
oh, I still want to look
This is
for
where I've done the road.
Just wanna see where the money's going where it's supposed to be.
it. But it's nothing to do with the one that was in 12, so, is that right?
Well, I don't,
And I said,
yeah, you gave it to me. It's, should be in Township 10. That's where,
that's what you're concerned with.
yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. That second one, it was for east of town over here, Township 9. I hadn't been out that road to see if it's been done, but I'd be curious.
We'll just have to look, see where this is at on my deal, my RIP grant. We have to tell them every road we have to do, and it has to be done on that road.
And that's my understanding. But that one hadn't never, I mean, it was started, and after you took office, it was quit. They quit it. And,
That was Mitch got it ready to do.
well, it was based, yeah, it was based, and
And he
it,
didn't get it, and the money was no longer there whenever I went in office.
well, you were still in office when they were finishing it.
They was finishing it.
Well,
I didn't
whenever,
take office till 2013.
okay.
Who are you with? Who are you with?
Just me.
It's you.
I'm John.
Does anybody else want to take 5 minutes to say something? All right, we're gonna move
Oh,
on.
Paul, sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions about last week. You approved the audit by Gray Blodgett and Associates.
Right.
Two of the findings, two of the recommendations were, one was to obtain outside assistance regarding financial statements. And your response was you agree with that. request or that finding that it's not monetarily feasible. I'm paraphrasing on that. Are you looking to find funds to obtain assistance with financial statements?
I say that again. Am I looking for funds to research financial statements?
The auditors requested that the county find outside assistance to help them with the financial statements. You agreed with that, the commissioners agreed with that statement, but said there was not enough money to obtain the assistance.
If I might, the recommendation is management should consider obtaining outside support from an individual group that might provide the expertise to management regarding the preparation of financial statements and the disclosures in the financial statements. Responses from the commissioner was as follows. We concur with the findings as noted above. However, we feel it would not be cost effective to contract with someone with the required skill set at this time. My question would be like Anita's, in that this is the most expensive asset that this county has. We owe over $7 million. We're going to end up paying over $22 million for debt service and operation over the next 15 years. Seems to me we ought to find some help with the management and accounting side of it, as the auditors indicated or recommended for the second year in a row. Had the additional identical findings last year, same response, no change. We're right back where we started. So I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm reading from the
No,
audit.
you have the audit. I was paraphrasing.
Yes.
That's my question is, are you planning to obtain outside financial assistance regarding this issue?
Advice on our financial situation or
Assistance
financial assistance?
in preparing the financial statements, yes.
Not this time we haven't, no.
Okay. The other question from the audit, it refers to the quarter-cent sales tax, which was part of the agreement to get the $450,000 loan, was to put the 3/4, the half-cent and the quarter, all toward the debt. I know a couple months ago that arrangement was reached, where each month the money is set aside for the debt. But it's my understanding that when this audit was prepared, the county still owed approximately $185,000 toward that fund, which needs to be paid. And I was wondering what your plans are to have that paid.
You talking about $185,000 after talking to Tom? I thought that was we would charge that because we were not putting the other 1/4% into the payment or the account we make the payment out of.
The statement I have is it needs to be paid. It still needs to be paid, even though you're complying now as far as moving the funds to the right accounts. But
No, we're technically not complying with that yet.
You're technically obliged.
And what are the plans to comply with that?
But right now, I mean, I don't know how we can put the other 1/4% in there and still run the courthouse. And besides, I mean, Kenny made that move on his own.
This was beginning in September 2014 for revenues collected in July 2014. Authority was due to receive a total of 3/4% of all sales tax revenues collected by Haskell County as per the 214 Bridge Landing bond indenture. This adjustment to the allocation calculation was not made, and the additional 1/4% generated by the increased sales tax rate that was effective July 1, 2014 was instead allocated to the Haskell County General Fund. So this began in 2014, had nothing to do with Kenny. Additional 1/4% that should have been received by the authority through June 30, 2015 totaled $205,617. As of June 30, 2015, $185,708 was still owed to the authority by the Haskell County General Fund. So the auditor says we have no choice. We must repay that money to the jail authority because it was improperly or misappropriated to the general fund. Is that your question?
Yes.
I may have some ideas as far as
They have to, yeah. it's 5 minutes,
But anyway. Does anybody else have any comments?
I'd like the answer to his question.
Well,
That's
as
my
far as
5
you-
minutes starting now.
Okay, that's fair.
Answer his question.
That's fair enough. You said it hadn't done, I mean, I'm not trying to throw Kenny under the bus because he's not here, but you said it had nothing to do with Kenny when it was first started out, the county appropriated 0.5% to build a jail.
We got 5 minutes. The audit says the report period is from 14 to 15. That's when the money was misappropriated
Right,
and put the wrong
but-
account. So let's talk about 14 and 15.
I'm trying to answer the question to the best of my ability. And if I don't get it done, I apologize. But the 1/4%, the reason why there's 3/4% dedicated to that, Kenny took it up on himself to do that. And it might or might not be legal. I do not know. But at the end of the day, if we take that 1/4% and put it towards the jail, it's gonna affect the courthouse in a negative way.
I've got a question to go along with his. I've heard you refer to Kenny as he's done all this on his own. I've yet to see Clark do anything on his own, or Marvin do anything on his own. It takes all three of you. How did he manage to do that on his own?
Look at the changements out there on the jail and see whose name on it, only Kenny Short.
Well, there's three of you. I'm talking about, there's three of you. How does one man do it
Well,
on his
I mean-
own?
You know, you may have to get a legal opinion on that, but I know what I've been told. I don't really know it. I'm not an attorney, but the way the trust authority was set up, you know, it gives which the commissions were the trust authority, but it give them the power to do certain things and you know, so he just.
So you think it was in the trust deal that he was given that power? Is that what you're?
So it don't take more than one to sign off on decision?
Not on that, not to the best of my knowledge. Because, I mean, there's things now that have nothing to do with the jail, you know, like our REAP grants and stuff, it only takes one signature.
I think what Anita was getting at, I may be wrong, is that y'all approved all of these findings and decisions made at the meeting. And is that true? You approved the audit and everything in it?
Last week.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all approved to agree to do this then, right?
I thought we approved, agreed to pay the audit.
Yeah, that's what I thought we agreed.
I thought you agreed of the audit. I may be wrong.
You accepted the audit.
Accepted it and what was in it. No? Did y'all read it through and read all these paragraphs that she's talking about and
Well,
Bobby's talking about?
there were findings from the auditor, and your response was, we agree with the findings.
But we're not gonna do anything about it. But to your point, Paul, it says authority is financed by half-cent sales tax. These are the auditor's findings, not mine,
I got you.
which were approved in a special election held November 8, 2005. On February 11, 2011, the voters of Haskell County approved an increase in the sales tax in the amount of 1/4% for a total 3/4% effective rate, July 1, 2014. So you made the decision to spend it where you did. The voters gave it to you, and you're the ones that decided to put it in the general fund versus the jail fund. That's the question.
But the voters on that 1/4% did not vote to approve it for the jail debt.
That's true.
Is that
They voted
true?
for the general fund.
Right.
But the commissioners agreed to put it into the fund. Therefore, the findings of the auditor are that we owe the fund $185,000 as a result of that.
I've talked to Farley about that issue, and he's like, that's a 50-50 deal if that was even legal. For Kenny, for him to put that 1/4% in there.
This is 2014. Kenny wasn't here in 2014.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I believe it was.
No, he wasn't. No, yeah, you took 15.
I started in January
Yeah, he was
2015.
in office. But anyways,
I can't see them letting one man do something that important though.
well, I agree with you, and
Without a vote.
it shouldn't have been done like that, but I think we all agree there's a lot of things shouldn't have been done.
But you and Marvin was here, so that's 2 against 1, and y'all agreed to it or didn't agree to it?
No,
or-
Rick, Marvin wasn't here. Mitch and I were here when no, you wasn't here whenever Kenny,
In 2014, when the refinancing?
that has,
So, I mean, the question is how does, y'all keep saying Kenny done this and Kenny
Because
done that?
Rick-
It's a 3-man board.
that's true. But the 1/4%, Marvin wasn't here when in 2011, when the 1/4% was passed. And then Kenny it was brought up, you know, we're not gonna be able to make these payments. We're not gonna be able to make the jail payments. That was brought up back then. So that's when Kenny talked to Jeff Rayleigh, and Jeff Rayleigh came down here. And he was explaining how if we refinanced, how it would lower our payments to the best of my ability. I mean, I can't remember every last meeting. And that's when Kenny said, well, and Jeff Rayleigh approached Kenny, so if you'll throw the 1/4% in there, we'll refinance this. And Kenny said, okay, I'll do it. So that was an agreement between Kenny and Jeff. That's what I'm,
So the board didn't have to vote on it?
I
So
don't
y'all,
know.
the county can refinance a $7 million loan and let one person make all the decisions and the board had nothing to do with it.
That's the way it went down.
So y'all never had it in a meeting, made motions or anything?
To the best of my knowledge, Randy, no. To the best, I'm not saying we didn't, I'm just saying to the best of my memory.
So that would be an illegal meeting?
It wouldn't have been an illegal meeting, it might have been an illegal action taken between them outside the meeting.
Well, don't you think that's an important issue that needs to be looked into and see if we did something legal or illegal?
Well, I have talked to Party about that.
So you're saying it was legal or wasn't legal?
I'm saying I didn't get a definite answer out of him.
Despite the timeframes of when this was voted on, these deficiencies that happened in the timeframe spelled out in the audit for 2015 and also for the previous year. So regardless of who was here, when you accept the responsibility and you're sworn in as an oath to take the position that you have, then it's the acting responsibility to make action on it. And as it goes right now, we have ignored this, and as the audit says, you know, the authority system of internal control, this is a repeat finding from the prior year audit. So that means it's been going on for 2 years now. McKinney's been gone for how long, Clark?
A year and 4 months.
Okay, so a year and a half ago. It says in the audit, we identified certain deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be a material weakness and significant deficiencies. That is not a light statement. It's a lot of money that we agreed to pay the bank to service this debt, and it's just been ignored, basically.
Paul, I haven't had 5 minutes on the audit yet, and I'll just read a couple of statements
Yeah,
that
go
concern
ahead.
me. I got to look at the audit.
Well, I was answering her question, I'm sorry about doing that now.
No,
Hey, go ahead, just
well,
go as quick as you can.
I will, but, you know, we didn't get the audit till last week, so
Mhm.
this is our first chance to review it. Several things concern me, and I'd like to know what the commission plans to do. Randy just said, however, as described in the company's scheduled findings and responses, we identified certain deficiencies in internal control we consider to be material weaknesses and significant deficiencies. According to accounting standards, it doesn't get any worse than that. We have to do something to correct it. That's what they're saying. They also go on to say there's a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement of the entity's financial statements will not be prevented, detected, or corrected on a timely basis. That should be a red light as well. He goes on to state that the sales tax revenue allocation that we're debating, to say that this allocation violates the sales tax agreement that was entered into by the county and the authority and causes the authority to be in violation of the bond indenture. Recommendation, pay it back and pay it back now. Thus the questions. We just think 2 years is too long to go without dealing with the issue. So my question is, what do we plan to do to get someone in here that can help us properly and accurately reflect our financial statements and reporting going forward? What are we gonna do to repay the debt?
It's a good question.
We just need to talk to Farland about it and see what he says.
Farley's not the
And I'm gonna
commissioner.
talk to,
I'm
He's
sorry.
our legal advisor.
I will talk to Tom, he has a lot of experience in that, and see what he
Tom
advises,
who?
about the financial statements, and, I mean, I'll try to get some direction from him. But, now, did you wanna say something?
I've been researching grants, and I have some possible resources to help with the debt.
Well,